Then all trouble began.
Yes.
Because Sarkodie says Nana Tuaso.
Yes.
Was there any motivation?
Motivation as in to let me say that.
Yes.
I knew that. Obviously, I knew the effect of what the song was going to bring. But one thing I've noticed is that we are living in a country where people have two ears. We have normal ears and political ears. So there are certain things that if you say it, when people are forcing me to do songs for the NPP, what they tend to, and it's hard for me to explain myself, so I normally try not to, because if I do it might end in the wrong way.
Right.
Because every song that I've done that is termed, which I still see as political, from masses to inflation, it was always government. I never said MPP, NDC. So if these songs, I think they are still relevant when they are, when there are issues going on, you can still go back to play the masses. But what I've noticed is that when in the political world, it's like a language. They have languages that they speak, So if you have an opinion at a certain point, the person who feels like it's going for them, take it as points. And the opponent will take it as a jab at them, right? And as much as you can come out and say, this is not what I meant, it's never going to make sense to a political ear. So when I say government, I buy me the JMO Shinegu Aban, so I buy is a buy, whether NPP or NDC is a buy. So that's how I see it. So I don't speak in a political way. I speak talking to government and governance, and it's about leader. So if you're a leader, maybe at that point when I released, it was you.
Okay.
So I'm not supposed to do a new song for suppose MPP to say that I'm doing political music.
Right.
No, I did a song that is relevant to date if you want to still play it. So that line there is saying that the government, so the song is talking about appreciation. So I used to put the blame on God. I used to do this, I used to do that. So I used to, and I will still stand by that, but sometimes when there's something good, you have to appreciate as well.
Right.
So that's exactly what the line is about. So if I talked about this and that, and there's a good thing to me that has happened, right? Because Doomsaw was like a very big thing, which I was keen on. I think it's coming back, so we might have to drop Doomsaw back again. But when I was writing a song, I wasn't experiencing, Doomsaw, and sometimes when you say these things psychologically, it makes them want to keep up, and they don't want to fall off track because you've seen that somebody's appreciating the work that you're doing. So. I think for the longest, even the first time I traveled to, I don't want to mention some African countries, I appreciated my country for the first time.
We're doing well.
Exactly. I've seen that. As much as, we still have a long way to go. Honestly, not to pamper ourselves, but if you compare us to certain countries, I think we have done some good. And sometimes it's good to push that side as well so that they can also work on that, not always, bashing them. But I know the political ears would never understand that, and they'll try to use that as, campaign or whatever. But I don't want to get into that. I just did the music and that's it. And it has no one-sided thing that people want to take it.
When you mentioned it and released the song, well, you received quite a number of bashing.
Yes.
And some people also appreciated it. Now, the rumor was that it was politically motivated, and that, well, your pocket or your account has been decorated.
Yeah.
So, were you approached by the MPP?
No.
Were you? How about the president himself? Because
No.
I know you have quite a good relationship with him.
Honestly, I've not been in touch with the president for a minute. Even the past the
Previous government.
The previous government. I don't really keep up with a lot of politicians. I take individuals as how they are. If I find somebody to be genuinely a good person, I just keep up with them. And for the president, no, we've never. I think the last time we met him was when that Freema. No, I think we went to Guba Awards and he was there.
Okay.
I think that was it. I've never spoken to him to date.
So there was no political motivation.
No.
But the president went on Twitter to appreciate the song.
It's very good. It's very good you're bringing this up, and I want to use this opportunity because when you're on Twitter, I know what you're about to ask. Because when I responded to that, if I was speaking or people were looking at me and what I tweeted, I was actually trying to make fun of the situation, which sometimes it doesn't it's not received well.
Well.
That's why I really try to stay away from either even the social media or even going on the radio to speak, because if you're not too careful, it might be taken the wrong way. And that was one perfect situation that what I was saying to me, because when he retweeted, and now it makes it seem like, as you're saying, it makes it seem like maybe
there's some support.
Exactly. So then I just came in to make it lighter to say, Mr. President, as I'm saying now, if it gets back to what I'll come and speak about it. So don't think because this has dropped, that's all that. So I want to use this opportunity to apologize to the president if he did not take that lightly. Sometimes people can interpret things differently, but to use this platform to say, honestly, it was just making a situation a bit lighter, yes.
When I saw it, I was like,
yeah,
okay, that's quite hard. Anyway, maybe there is something to it. Or I know how these politicians work. Like, the boy like for Siam behind closed doors. And then Kwame Eugene also came up on the same song. It was like there were some controversies around it. Eugene also spoke about it that, well, you didn't inform him, you took some lyrics out, and he wasn't very pleased with some things you did. But I didn't see or hear you respond to it.
Yeah.
Why?
Same reason. I think there's certain energy that you don't feed into. It's either you want to have a conversation with the person himself, or you don't involve people too much, because a lot of relationship has been broken because of opening up too much to a lot of people to involve their opinions. So if you really have a problem with somebody, I believe in talking to the person. And I think at that moment I spoke with Richie. We had a conversation about everything, and I understood Kwame Eugene. He's pretty young. Pressure coming. What I would say on my side, which was wrong, was because of how long I've been in the industry, I take things differently. So I don't expect him to take it the same way that I would take it. So I understand him perfectly for how he felt, but we had conversations backdoor that I felt it wasn't supposed to be. We are coming to sit on radio to discuss it. Yeah.
I see. All right, listeners. So King Sak is here. We're having a discussion. He now has a new album, No Pressure. Yes, No Pressure. But Charlie, forgive me. I need to go back and ask all of these questions because I'm very sure a lot of people have been yearning for this opportunity, but they don't get. Again, Sarkodie doesn't avail himself for questioning. The rumor or the perception is that, well, he only appears whenever he has a project. How can this perception be dropped? Sark? Only when it's either you have an album or you are coming up with a concert, that's when you find him openly on radio answering questions.
Yeah?
Yeah. Your fans are complaining.
No, but sometimes I do interviews when I have no project.
Well, maybe they don't check on that.
So, as in they want me to do that more often?
Well, yes. Yes, once in a while. Just avail yourself. There are too many comments for you. Some of them on, well, please, I would also appreciate it if we can be decent with some of the comments. I have the right not to read, or I have the right to edit if I'm reading. I think that would be much more better because decency is all that matters. Well, thank you very much. So you have complained about government, from masses to inflation, doom, saw, and all of that. Now, a lot of people seem to be disappointed in the current government because situations are disappointing, especially the increase in fuel prices, in tariffs and all. What's your take on the government? If you had to rate it 1 to 10, how would you rate them?
Honestly, whether previous or now, it would be hard for me to be. So the conversation, when you listen to the song that I did, is very general. You can see that I'm not somebody who is like in a political world. I don't have it all together to have all the information. I'm speaking just as
An ordinary Ghanaian.
Okay. And I feel until at least we are at a certain level where people, the rate between a rich person and poor is not too, like, it's not too here and there. That's when I can say we are comfortable. You know, I wish we are at a point where even the normal people with jobs could afford the basic stuff that they need. You know, health, everything, at least where riches or wealth can be an option if you want to have it. But at least if you want to live comfortable, everybody can be comfortable. That is what I pray for. Until then, I think we are just, I can appreciate stuff that we're doing, but we have been out there in the States, in the Western world, and we see how the systems work for the people. So until we get that fully, I can't say this one is good or this one, because to me, it's still what it is regarding the people's hustle, you know. So when this whole fix the country thing came up, I definitely support the agenda. Yes, because the country will make you self-police yourself. You know, you can't be around looking at people all the time asking what they're doing. But when you're in London, whether the police is there or not, the system has been built that you are self-policing yourself. You are scared. You know, you want to pee, but you can't just get out and go and stand somewhere. There is nobody there, but you are scared still. So that is the system we're talking about. So you build it. And because it's not been built, you can't fault people too much because you are putting people in position where they have to do crime. It's like you are now, you know, because like if you are on some of the N1s and there is no exit, yeah, mistake, at least the least mistake you do, they're adding maybe 5-7 minutes to your journey. Ghana one like it's only 2 hours by account. You know, so if you're doing that and somebody wants to cut corners, and it's like you're putting a person under pressure and expect the person to act right. So I want, and then the people to have to be ready for that change, because when that change comes, you won't have the comfort that you have. That's why it's both sides. So you fix yourself as a person, and then they fix the country. So, but for me, the country fixes first. Then you guys we don't have any reason to cut corners. Then I think we'll be good. So that's how I see it. Till then, I think we're just trying to survive still.
But so, if you support the Fix the Country movement, how come you've never spoken about it? Because we know how vocal you are. At least you add a voice. Yes. And I saw people commenting that, oh, Sak, you've been talking about this, you've been talking about that. How come Fix the Country, you've never mentioned anything of the sort?
Those are the type of conversations that makes it not interesting to even get involved. You know, you don't. So what about all I've done? Does that just go away because I haven't spoken about Fix the Country? Everything I talked on the masses, inflation, is Fix the Country. That is these conversations doesn't make me seem smart. That is why I don't even like to indulge in it, because if you are trying to move from all these songs I've done and make it political, that is why I don't even feel like talking about it. But
because the people also feel that you are in bed with the current government.
Yeah, those thoughts are your thoughts, right? And I have to feel like I want to say something. And sometimes maybe the way it's being presented doesn't even allow you, doesn't make you feel like you want to go. Because when I did the masters, it wasn't like people speaking or people doing anything. I literally just watched stuff for myself and I got into that conversation. And even at this point, my approach to doing political, as they would say, political records, is not talking about, because I've said it already. If you're a creative person, you understand. I don't do this for clout. I'm not trying to. When I did the masters, it wasn't because I want to trend. I literally felt like it. So that song is still relevant. Now, if I'm approaching it, I don't think I'll approach it from, it's going to be from way deeper, a deeper conversation. If you listen to Brown Paper Bag, you know, with Manifest, it's continuation of that, but a different perspective of it. Yeah, so I'm up for it. Just that, you know, we are the same people who will make everything political. So now you can't even have a conversation about anything. Yeah.